We are here on the Eliott Show, and it is a great day because it is a cookout day, and that's where we get to hang out with your favorite artists. And today at the cookout, we have none other than the great Khalid. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Of
Indeed.
course. Now, there's only one rule at the cookout. Everybody has to bring a dish for us to enjoy. So what would you bring for all of us to
Oh,
eat on?
hey, I feel like I gotta play it safe because I know, you can't eat everybody's mac and cheese. So I might have to bring some baked chicken or something. I don't know. We're gonna have to play it
Oh, okay. Yeah.
safe.
Everybody can do the chicken.
We
You
can
like
do the chicken. That's easy. Anybody can eat
it's fine. Yeah, we'll probably have multiple options of mac and cheese anyway.
it.
So
Right.
but food isn't the only thing you bring. You also bring some new music. We've been playing your song Heat Stroke lately,
Thank you.
off your latest album, Sincere. Tell us about how that album came together for you. I know you wanted to represent yourself as Khalid today, but tell us a little about it from your eyes.
I feel like creatively, I've gone through so many different directions and eras. That's a thing that I appreciate about myself. Being eclectic as a creative and not being bound by any box. But when it comes down to my album Sincere, I really wanted to be intentional. I wanted to set a stage of a sound and a story that you can hear and it's cohesive and it brings you from the beginning all the way to the end. So when I look back and I reflect on Sincere, the reason why it took so long is because I wanted to make sure that when I said what I had to say, that it was completely empathetic and it could be understood and it could be felt. And now I'm at the point where okay, let's have fun now. Now we got, but I feel like I had to get these stories out because I'm not only speaking for myself, but I'm speaking for my supporters and I'm speaking for my fans.
Yeah, you said you had the conversations with lots of people, and if you haven't listened to the album yet, like as soon as you put it on, it's just vibes throughout the whole thing. So,
Thank you.
but what do you think is the biggest difference between Khalid now and I mean, we're talking American Teen, that's like 7 years ago. So a lot of growth as a person, as an artist. But what do you think is the biggest difference in you today?
So much more confidence and trust in myself as an
Okay.
not only as a musician but as a human, as a person. Just a lot of trust. I remember going into the studio and half of these songs that people listen to and they're like, oh my god, these are hit records. I was recording those songs and I was asking myself, is this good? Are people gonna like this? I don't know if this is gonna do anything. And so I think I just have to remind myself that being a perfectionist, being an artist, is it's understood and it's felt. We sometimes we think too hard about our music. Sometimes we think too hard about it. So just trusting my impulse and my intuition as a creative has been something that I've learned how to do so much better now as an adult than I did as a teenager. And hopefully through the years, I just can continue getting better. That's always my goal. Being a better writer, being a better songwriter, and a better empathizer.
Yeah, no, we definitely can appreciate that. Definitely comes with time, not only as an artist, I think just as a person, you become more confident in who you are
Exactly.
and your choices. So glad to see that's coming out in your music. Now, you were talking about having the conversations with the fans, and I've been seeing some back and forth with you and your fans online about how, they want to dance and you want to cry. Like, how do you choose like what song type of songs to put out when your fans are like asking for certain types of songs, but it may not be lining up with how you're feeling right now.
I always will respect, uh, I will always respect the perspective.
Okay.
And so I love when my fans tell me what they want to hear from me because for me it keeps me out of that box. Like, oh, I never thought I should do a country song. Maybe I should try to write one. Or, oh, I don't really feel comfortable with this tempo. Maybe I should try to write in it more. I think
Mhm.
that's the cool thing. You got to be uncomfortable to be comfortable, especially as a creative. And so when my fans are telling me things that they want, they're also speaking to the joy and the memories that they've had to the songs that I've created. So I don't take it personal.
Yeah.
I just always remind them, hey, you can't expect everything to be your thing. You can't expect everything to be your thing, or there wouldn't be other things for other people to have, other people to enjoy.
Mhm.
You can't get greedy. Every song that you hear is not going to be your favorite.
Yeah.
But you also have to remind yourself that if you're patient, you might hear that song that blows you away. So just we gotta let artists be artists, let creators be creators, because this all comes from the heart. So I just try to
Yeah.
remind people that.
That's a bar right there. Yeah, you need other things, and it creates that moment for like when you do connect to that song that's like really special to you. You can't do that every time.
You can't. Everyone has their favorite. Everyone will
Yeah,
always have their favorite.
that's awesome. So we're in a like a this weird. It's not weird. It's a great touring cycle that we're in right now. There's a lot of great artists on tour, and it kind of started last year with some of these big artists with Taylor and Ed Sheeran was one of those, and you were on tour with him.
I was.
Which I got to see and it was amazing.
Dope, dope.
But tell us what you learned from that tour and what that experience was like for you being the opener for Ed Sheeran.
The day that you stop getting nervous performing in front of a stadium
Hmm.
is crazy. Like the day that okay, the nerves have kind of subsided and now we can focus on the performance.
Mm,
You'll always be a little bit nervous because when you care, you care.
yeah,
But when those nerves don't overcome your performance and you can let yourself go and just enjoy the moment, and it's like a stadium turns into a small room at that point. And
wow.
that is a unique feeling because I don't feel like many people will ever be able to, like, that was a gift that had that he gave me. You
Hmm.
know, artists dream of doing stadiums, but the reality of doing a stadium, you got to think there's like 70,000, 80,000 people at these shows.
Bro.
It's a blessing to be gifted with. So if you get to the point where you're performing in a stadium, you got to be thankful, and you need to be proud of yourself because you probably wrote that song that got you there. So for me, I think performing in front of the stadium and being like, okay, now I can adjust how I perform to perform for a room that I wouldn't have even been able to imagine. So you learn so much on that stage. And when the nerves knock off, you start having a lot of fun. So it was
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Yeah, definitely could see you having fun. And yeah, you're right. I mean, to do a stadium, like even the teams in stadiums can't pull stadium numbers. So when you're an artist doing that, that's amazing.
It's crazy.
Um, but what's the last tour you got to go to, like as a fan, like just to go and observe? You didn't have to work that night. You just got to watch.
Honestly, it has been a minute. It's been an honest minute because I mean, and I would love to go see some shows and I would love to put myself out there to see some shows. I've
Mhm.
just been so busy. The timing hasn't been right. So, you know what will be a great present for me? Um, a concert. That
Okay.
would be a great. I'm gonna give that present to myself. I'm gonna go to a concert. I've been thinking about it. You know, I love listening to Magdalena Bay. I saw that they were performing in LA, but then I saw that the tickets were sold out. So I was just like,
Ah, yeah,
maybe I could find myself to that show somehow, or a show in the near future. I love live music, so I need to go see it
yeah.
more. I've actually been talking to my friends about that. Let's go out and live with music more.
Yeah, treat yourself. You got to get out there and experience it. Maybe it inspires you too. I don't know.
Exactly,
I,
exactly.
kn- I know a lot of people selfishly are hoping that maybe you pop out at one of these Billie Eilish shows because y'all got that collaboration. But do you think
I
there's a
would
chance
love
it
to.
could happen?
Hey, anytime Billy calls me and is like, "Yo, I want you to come on stage," I'm like, I'm already parked out front. What do you mean?
You just say the word anytime, any. That's hilarious. But you also said you're not done. You got more music on the way before the end of the year, or is it coming next year? Or how soon are we talking?
Hey, I will say I am just in an amped up and creative, like, sweet spot. So I'm making so much music that uh, I don't want to leave every song behind. I don't want to go
Yeah.
years later and we have this like long file of all this. Like, no, I want to keep putting out music. I want to keep going. I took 5 years, but I'm not going to take 10.
Okay.
So I'm ready to keep, like, there will be so much more music and a lot of great songs too. I can honestly say some bangers on the way, some bangers on the way.
Okay, okay. Well, definitely
Yeah.
something to look forward to. We can't wait to see it. All right, before we let you go, I gotta ask you because you're on one of the most what I think is one of the most important songs with you and Logic and Alessia Cara about mental health. And we talk about it a lot on this show. So I always like to talk to artists who are like spokespersons about
Yeah.
mental health. But what are like some like beginner steps for people who are just getting into it, just starting to really take their mental health seriously?
For me, one problem that I deal with a lot is anxiety, and I feel like a lot of that anxiety comes with fear of judgment, the fear of being perceived. And I remember one time I went to a festival, and it was so overwhelming, um, because I felt like everybody was staring at me, and I felt like everybody was looking at me, and I felt like everybody was judging me. And I started to have like this mini, panic attack, and I walked to this seems like it was this empty park with a water fountain. I'm sitting down with my friends, and I looked around, and everyone is just showing each other love, and we're all telling each other that we love each other. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And I looked at this group, and I told myself, the only opinions that matter in this space are the ones from the people that I love, and myself included in this circle. And I told myself, you know what? As much as we get in our head that everybody is judging us and everybody is perceiving us, we all have our own complex stories. We all have our own struggles, and somebody might be looking at you for a glimpse, and they might have so much going on that they forget your face in the evening. And so I tell myself, like, look, um, take care of yourself, value your core friend groups, and create memories with them fearlessly. I've been practicing a lot of exposure therapy, placing myself out there and fighting against my anxiety and being like, okay, yeah, fashion shows make me nervous, but I'm gonna sit front row at one. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna put myself out there. Just it takes a lot, but just taking that effort to push yourself out there and to not let your anxiety swallow you so much that you don't enjoy life.
Wow, that's amazing. Words of wisdom. We know he's gonna get
Thank you.
some bars from Khalid. And you
Thank
looked amazing at those fashion shows, by the way.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I had a good time, and I was so nervous, but I ended up having an amazing time. So,
So sometimes you just gotta step out, just embrace it, huh?
exactly,
Man.
exactly.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time, Khalid, for coming to the cookout. We wish you luck on all the upcoming stuff that you got, and we're looking forward to it and looking forward to see you again soon.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
You too. Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
Peace.